Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Today on General Hospital, ADA Turner is asking a lot of questions. Sidwell makes Sunny an offer, and Carly and Jax set some things straight. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. Sasha and Jason meet in the Quartermain kitchen. She called him because Felicia made her realize how much he is going to be involved in this child's life. She brings up, for example, the birth plan, and if he'll be on the baby's birth certificate. He offers to be on it if it will help. She thinks it would have been better if she left town, and if Willow finds out the truth, she'll use it to get custody of Wiley and Amelia. Jason says that's why he's claiming to be the father, but Sasha wonders how long that will go on. She hates lying to Michael's family and her own. Jason says he'll be here to support her until Michael gets back, which hopefully will be soon. Until then, they are in this together. Suddenly, the baby kicks for the first time. She notes she was with him when the baby first moved. She grabs his hand and lets him feel the little kicker she has. Kai stops by Aurora's office to talk to Curtis about the surgery opportunity Drew offered him. He says Drew is even offering to cover the costs. Kai knows it could give him a chance to play football again, but it's risky, and the procedure needs to be done as close to the time frame of the original injury. He doesn't have much time to decide. Kai asks for Kurt's advice. Curtis suggests he speak to his wife and get this procedure vetted. If it's legit, he has a choice to make. Marco meets with Lucas at the Metro Corp bar. Lucas wonders why Marco is in town. Marco calls it fate. He explains he was interviewing for a job at a law firm, and his photo was on a desk there. He reveals he interviewed with Diane, and still needs to meet Alexis before an offer can be made. Lucas says if he is going to move here, then he has a confession to make. He says he rarely goes to bars and never picks up random guys. He's also nowhere near ready for a relationship. Marco lets him know he is not plotting to be his husband. He just happened to be in town for this job, and so he reached out to him. Lucas swears he's not usually this neurotic. Marco asks how things are with his ex-husband. Lucas has been avoiding him as much as he can, and he is working to clean up some mess he made. Marco asks why this is his responsibility. Lucas assumes he feels guilty about it, and once it's cleaned up, he can put his ex behind him. Lucas wants to hear about Marco, but he has to rush to a meeting. He'll be in town a few more days, so they could meet again. Lucas says he'd like that. Over in the alcove, Trina meets with ADA Turner. Turner brings up what happened at the Quartermain crypt and Emma's actions. Turner explains Emma has priors in California, and Turner wonders if she's talked about them or why she was expelled from her last school. Trina says Emma's never mentioned anything to her about either topic. Trina asks why a New York ADA is concerned with what happened across the country. Turner is only interested in Emma's crimes due to her grandmother. She wants to know if Anna is shielding Emma from prosecution. Trina says her issue is with Anna then, and she doesn't have a connection to Anna. She tells her good day and departs. Carly tells Jack they have a problem if he's going to lie to her about Sunny. She assumes Sunny threatened him to leave her alone. Jack swears Sunny didn't bring up her name, and it was WSB business. Carly understands he has to have secrets, but she won't tolerate lies. Jack says there may be times he can't tell her the truth, and sometimes he'll have to tell her half-truths, and she has to be okay with that. He says if she trusts him, he won't take advantage of it. Carly says it feels like her heart is the one that could get broken here. He explains he is the one breaking the WSB's cardinal rule: don't form attachments. However, he is attached to her. They kiss, and as much as Jack would love to take this to his room, he has work to get to. Carly goes over to Lucas and asks him about the man he was with. He says his name is Marco, and she notes he's cute. Lucas points out she didn't come home last night, and he was worried. He also assumed she didn't want him to know she was with Jack. Carly says everyone has lectured her about Jack, and she's tired of it. Lucas says Jason came to work and lectured him about her and Jack. He won't fight with her over Jack, but thinks Jason won't back down Portia's office and yells that she didn't uphold their deal, as Curtis called him Congressman Kane in his coverage of the press conference. He warns her to get Curtis under control, or he'll blow her life out of the water. She tells him she can't control Monica and Tracy regarding his name, and she doesn't control Curtis either. Drew says she needs to keep tabs of what Curtis is up to and report back to him. Otherwise, he'll fill Curtis in on what he knows about her. Drew is on his way out when Brad shows up. She asks what Brad wants from her. He would like a promotion and a 4-day weekend, but she says no. She knows he gave up the evidence on her to Drew, but he swears he didn't. He admits he gave it to his Aunt Selena. She tells him their arrangement is done. Now, all that is left is figuring his severance pay. He begs her not to fire her. They're interrupted by Kai, and Portia tells Brad to leave, but they'll continue their talk later. Kai explains he's here as Curtis advised him to see her for a second opinion on a procedure that could help him play again. She says she'll look into this and asks how he heard about it. Kai says it was from Drew, who has even offered to pay for the surgery. Portia says he'll need to talk to his parents, but he wanted to determine if this was a legitimate possibility first. She again says she'll look into it for him. Brad returns to Portia's office and begs not to be sent back to his Aunt Selena. She agrees to keep him on, as he may come in useful, but for now, she owes his ass. Drew stops by Aurora, having been called by Curtis. Curtis wants Drew to leave Kai alone, not give him hope for the impossible. Drew says this procedure is not impossible, and he thought Curtis would be happy for Kai. Curtis says if the procedure doesn't work out for Kai, and he's out of football for good, he assumes Drew's interest in Kai will vanish. Drew swears he's only trying to help and Curtis is the one being the problem. At Windermere, Jens yells at Natalia that she'll never be in a position to give him orders after the way she ruined their family. The doorbell rings and Jens goes to answer it. Sonny shows up unannounced and tells Sidwell it's time they met. Jens invites him in, and Sonny sees champagne out on the table. Natalia has made herself scarce. Jens explains the women from Deception were just here. Sonny cuts to the chance that his penthouse was bombed right around the time he arrived in town, and new information has him considering Jens was involved. He asks Jens if the name Selinsky rings a bell, and Jens admits more than one. Sonny says Selinsky is the man who was hired to bomb his place. He worked all over the world, including Africa where Jens once worked out of. Jens points out that Africa is a big place, and Sonny seems to be under the impression he wants to get rid of him. Jens says it's actually the opposite. He says he needs a secure port to work out of, and Sonny is good at maintaining the peace here and keeping the criminal elements down. Sonny is reluctant to believe he's going to run a legitimate business. Jens offers to prove himself by using his resources to help him find the culprit who hired Selinsky. Jens says he has a son himself. Sonny says he'll take care of this himself, and wishes Jens luck in business as long as his business doesn't interfere with his. Sonny departs, and Natalia reappears. She says Sonny is smart and dangerous, and it's not wise to make an enemy of him. If he has designs on Sonny's territory, he should reconsider them. Jens noticed she ran and hid when Sonny appeared, so he guesses Sonny doesn't know their connection. He again warns her to stay quiet for the good of her own health and well-being. The doorbell rings again, and Jens answers it. It's Marco who apologizes to his dad for being late. When he sees Natalia, he gasps, "Mom, what are you doing here?" Sonny stops by the Metro Court to talk to Ada Turner. Turner hasn't been in Port Charles long, but she has noticed he seems friendly with the mayor and police commissioner, which could hurt their careers and reputation, given stories about him. Sunny says he doesn't listen to gossip. He notes they are friends and people like him. He gives Turner some advice. If she is fishing for something, don't. She insists she's not fishing. She does have more questions, but Sunny's out of answers and will see her soon. Joss stops in a coffee house and spots Vaughn out, sitting at a table and flirting with a woman. She is surprised to see him here and hopes she's not interrupting. The woman explains that she was only asking for some sugar and takes off. Vaughn thought she was in class today. She says her professor gave them the day off, so she thought she'd explore. She sees this shop's logo on all these cups, so it must be good. He calls her perceptive. And Joss notes the croissants here seem popular. He grabs them some croissants before they sell out. He goes to get the tray of them, but collides with the woman who wanted sugar earlier. He spills the croissants, she helps him pick them up, and she passes a device to him under the tray, which Joss catches. Vaughn returns to Joss with the last clean croissant and says he was a little clumsy. Vaughn then claims he has to get to work, so she should enjoy her afternoon off. Joss returns to the gym, where Vaughn is. Jack shows up to find out Joss' progress. Vaughn says Joss has passed all her tests, and she's ready to graduate. He wants back in the field. Jack tells him given what happened in Romania, it will be a long time before he's back in the field. Jack asks if they have an understanding, and Vaughn says they do. Before Vaughn leaves to give Jack and Joss privacy, Joss stops him. She tells Jack there is something he should know. She witnessed Vaughn receive a drop-off earlier. She thought he was on a mission, but now she's not so sure. On the next General Hospital, Drew tells Curtis to leave Kai out of it. Trina tells Kai, "This seems hard to believe." Ava sits with Rick and begs him to wake up. Liz tells Lucky this is going to be a difficult recovery. Carly cries to Jason to trust her judgment, that Jack isn't a threat to her. Jack asks Joss if she stands by her version of the events. General Hospital is no stranger to intense and thrilling drama, and recent episodes have taken this tradition to a whole new level. One of the biggest bombshells in recent weeks has come courtesy of Jocelyn Jacks, the beloved character who has been through her fair share of heartache, love, and betrayal. The young woman who has grown up in the heart of Port Charles is now facing one of the most challenging situations of her life, one that could change everything for her, and for the people around her. Her latest accusation against Vaughn is not only shocking but promises to have serious repercussions that could ripple through the entire town. For those who may not be familiar with the backstory, Vaughn is a new character introduced into the General Hospital universe. Initially, he seemed like an intriguing addition to the drama, providing viewers with fresh faces and new potential storylines. However, Vaughn's true nature has recently begun to unfold, and the character has proven to be far more complicated than anyone could have imagined. Though Vaughn started off as a seemingly charming and well-intentioned individual, there have been subtle signs that he harbored darker intentions all along. Jocelyn, who is no stranger to facing difficult circumstances, found herself entangled in Vaughn's web in ways she couldn't have foreseen. Their interactions initially appeared innocent enough, but as time went on, the tension between the two grew palpable. Jocelyn, always perceptive and determined to protect those she loves, began to sense something was off. Her suspicions about Vaughn's intentions grew, and soon, her worst fears seemed to come to fruition. In a stunning moment, Jocelyn made a serious accusation against Vaughn that has left viewers gasping for breath. Without going into too much detail just yet, Jocelyn's revelation not only casts a dark shadow over Vaughn's character, but also throws Jocelyn into the center of a growing storm. Vaughn's response to the accusation has been one of cold detachment, which only raises more questions about his true motives. As fans of General Hospital know all too well, nothing is ever as simple as it appears on the surface, and Vaughn's involvement in the story is far from over. The ripple effect of Jocelyn's accusation against Vaughn extends beyond just their personal dynamic. This event could potentially involve many other characters, from her family to those who have known Vaughn in the past. The possibility of Vaughn retaliating or attempting to manipulate the situation for his benefit is high, and it could lead to a larger confrontation that might not only affect Jocelyn, but the entire Port Charles community. The question on everyone's mind is whether Jocelyn's accusation will be the tipping point that sets off a much larger, more dangerous series of events. Will she be able to prove her claims, or will Vaughn turn the tables on her and paint her as the villain? Only time will tell, but General Hospital fans can expect this storyline to continue to unfold in unexpected ways. While Jocelyn's confrontation with Vaughn has been one of the most talked about developments, there's another significant event unfolding in Port Charles that's about to shake things up in an entirely different way. Marco, a familiar face to longtime viewers of General Hospital, is having an unexpected family reunion that is bound to cause its own set of watching General Hospital for years. Marco's story may be somewhat familiar. As a member of the more peripheral branches of the Corinthos family, Marco has never been a central character in the soap's long-running drama. However, his return to Port Charles and the sudden re-emergence of his family members is about to turn the quiet corner of his life upside down. Marco, who has always maintained a relatively low profile, is now at the center of a family reunion that is anything but ordinary. What makes Marco's reunion so surprising is the suddenness of it and the people involved. There are whispers about his estranged family members returning to town, some of whom Marco hasn't seen in years. This reunion comes with a number of unanswered questions and unresolved issues. Marco's relationships with his family have been strained for as long as anyone can remember, and the return of these relatives promises to stir up old wounds. However, it's not just old family grudges that Marco will have to contend with. The dynamics at play could have far-reaching effects on the town and its people. This unexpected family reunion isn't just about reconciling lost relationships or reconnecting with long-lost loved ones. No, the reunion seems to have a much darker undertone. Marco's past is not as simple as it may seem, and the return of certain family members could bring with it some dangerous revelations. Marco himself has never been fully open about the reasons behind his estrangement from his family, and now the truth could come to light in ways no one anticipated. As with most storylines on General Hospital, the unexpected twist of Marco's family reunion will likely lead to more than just personal drama. The larger implications of this return could impact not only Marco's life, but also the lives of those around him. Will the family reunion turn out to be a peaceful moment of healing, or will it explode into a chaotic and dramatic confrontation that changes everything? And how will Marco navigate these complex relationships? After all, he's not just dealing with personal connections, but also the complicated web of family ties that have a way of complicating everything. In the world of General Hospital, everything is intertwined, and the smallest of actions can have significant consequences. Jocelyn's serious accusation against Vaughn and Marco's unexpected family reunion are two plotlines that, on the surface, may seem unrelated. However, as any avid viewer of the show knows, no storyline exists in a vacuum. The tension between these two separate narratives is building, and it's only a matter of time before the events surrounding Jocelyn and Marco collide in ways that no one saw coming. The question of how these two storylines will converge is one that keeps fans on the edge of their seats. Will Marco's family reunion somehow intersect with Jocelyn's battle against Vaughn? Will Vaughn's dark past be connected to Marco's estranged relatives? The possibilities are endless, and the writers of General Hospital have a talent for crafting intricate plots that surprise even the most dedicated fans. In the coming weeks, fans can expect the drama to intensify. Jocelyn's accusation against Vaughn will not be the end of her story, and Marco's family reunion will undoubtedly spark even more surprises. The relationships and power dynamics between these characters are poised to shift in unpredictable ways. It's clear that Jocelyn and Marco are about to find themselves in the midst of complex, high-stakes drama that will test their resilience and force them to confront truths they may not have been prepared to face. At the heart of General Hospital's appeal is its ability to mix personal, family-driven stories with high-stakes suspense, and the situations surrounding Jocelyn and Marco are prime examples of this balance. The personal and emotional stakes are just as high as the larger conflicts that are unfolding, making these storylines some of the most compelling in recent memory. As these two stories develop, viewers can expect more shocking revelations, confrontations, and emotional moments. The complex web of relationships that define Port Charles is about to get even more tangled, and no one, not even the most loyal fans, can predict what will happen next. All we know for certain is that the best is yet to come, and the drama surrounding Jocelyn's accusations and Marco's family reunion is only the beginning of a thrilling ride on General Hospital. The future of these storylines holds much promise, and as always, General Hospital is set to deliver one of its most unforgettable chapters yet. Fans can't afford to miss a single moment as these two plotlines continue to evolve. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our YouTube channel for more update news.